Welcome everyone to the spiritual home of Grand Prix racing. Welcome to the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. The ABN World Championships roll through to start off 2023 here in Great Britain. It's the British Grand Prix, and the championships are closer than they've ever been. Derek Miller just went top of the board. Bren Roberts was the top of the board for the longest time. Derek Miller moving his car to the top of the board for Nexus Sim Racing. Bren Roberts second for 1MA Racing. Joshua Gaiman, his first race of the season for Arrowhead Racing, subbing in for an ill Donnie Crouch. He sits third. Then it's Eli Sasek, Lily Pelletier-Sharp, Emma Kruger, Nick Pressey, Olivia Hayward, Jason Blaney 10th, Tom Sears in 11th. Nathan Lyon, Robin Summer have yet to set lap time so far, with a little under half an hour left in practice. A lot of time still left to get organized and ready to go. For those tuning in, I'm Carmen Hardy. It's been a busy week to start off the new year, but it's been a lot of fun. Last night's Super Sprint series from Watkins Glen was a lot of fun. Hoping to carry that energy and momentum here in Silverstone here tonight. Miller top of the board by 128.528. That is Bren Roberts in front of him. Roberts on the soft compound tire. Not Roberts, Miller on the soft compound tire. Roberts is on the medium. Josh Gaiman on the hard compound. Nathan Lyon out on track for Field Up Motorsports. Trying to set his first lap time of the night. Both Lyon and Robin Summer, who still sits in pit lane, having technical issues starting out the year. Having to go through part swaps and recalibrations before getting on track. This track is a busy one. We're on board with Josh Gaiman. Running on board with this lap with Josh Gaiman. Daslick just went top of the board, 126.721. On board with Olivia Hayward. For Hayward, this is her home track, on the calendar at least. She'll tell you a lot about how she prefers Alton Park, which is her actual home track. But this is her home Grand Prix. Right now, currently sitting 8th fastest on the timesheets. Again, a lot of drivers in race trim at the moment. Eli Sasek busting out the 126s. 1.8 seconds clear of Derek Miller. Sasek enters tonight with a lot to gain if he can hold this up. Only 2 points shy of championship leader Emma Kruger. So right now, every point counts. Nick Presti putting in personal best times so far. So he's going to be coming up the order here shortly. Hard compound tire for Presti. Enough for P2. So they're experimenting with something in the MPEM camp. Fire lit underneath both Sasek and Presti. Summer sets a lap time. Installation lap complete for Robin Summer for Prismatic Motorsports. So Presti, second place. Sasek, top of the board. It's a 1-2 for MPEM so far. Jason Blaney moves up to 4th fastest. Time is beginning to come down for a lot of drivers at the moment, with less than 16 minutes to go in practice. Qualifying 30 minutes. There's a 10-minute warm-up period for everyone to adjust and get ready to go for the British Grand Prix this evening. But for right now, it is Sasek, Presti, Miller, Blaney, Roberts, Gaiman, Pelletier, Sharp, Kruger, Hayward, Saucier, your top 10. Pelletier Sharp just went 3rd fastest. 127.7 for the French woman. Dual nationalist, French and British. waving the French banner. This race still has a lot of meaning for Pelletier Sharp. Right now, she's within a second of Sasek. Both the MPEM cars right now on the hard compound tire. But lap times, they are shuffling a little bit. There's Pelletier Sharp, and I believe that is Gaiman behind. And that is indeed Josh Gaiman behind. So while I look at this, we gotta take the time to show everyone the championship meanings going into this race. It's Emma Kruger at the top of the board, 69 points for her. Eli Sasek in second place with 67 points. Then Derek Miller, Jason Blaney, Brendan Roberts, top 5. Christina Ryan in 6th place. At a Tom Sears, Wesley Jeanette, Nick Pressey, Rob Collier, Jacob Blankenship, Donnie Crouch. As you scroll on down, 18 drivers have scored a point so far in this season. Here's where it gets a lot more fun. This is the team championship standings. Nick Pressey Motorsports, first place in the team standings. Had a Nexus Sim Racing, Field Up Motorsports, 1MA Racing, Gearcats. I feel like the Gearcats total is a little bit off. Derek Miller has come in and gotten in between the two MPEM cars on the soft compound tire once again. He is setting personal best this lap. We'll see if Derek Miller can do it. Less than 10 minutes left in practice. Miller coming across the start finish line. Is it enough to take over the top spot? It is a 126.144. Sasek also on a personal best lap time. Is it enough for 3/10? It was a 126.1099, 126.095, I should say, in more specific clarity. Goes atop the board. So once again, Juggernauts trading lap times. Now, and Summer's still getting up to speed a little bit. As it sits at the moment, Summer 11th fastest. Josh Gaiman just went 4th fastest for Arrowhead Racing. No best sectors of anybody, but a lot of personal bests. Those personal bests across the board. Some drivers will not show their hand early. A lot of drivers showing their qualifying pace early on. Sasek, Miller, they come to mind on that one. Some drivers electing to hold on to that card until we get into qualifying. You saw aggressive on the curbing through Maggots and Beckett's. Josh Gaiman was going up towards the Stowe corner. A lot of lateral G loads to that corner. And coming around to the home straightaway. I don't think this is much better. It is not better. It's actually slower. Sassy coming out of pit lane. Our championship leader down in 7th place at the moment. We talked about the points a couple minutes ago. Those points actually are accurate for Gear Cats. The thing that's been killing that team as far as the team's championship battle is that it's had penalty points that's stacked against it from incidents from Peltier Sharp over the last few races. And those incident points stack up. Or those penalties, I should say, stack up. As some may recall, before Christmas, Valentin did not finish. Valentin was driving in place of Peltier Sharp at Montreal. Not Montreal, Spain. Wrong track. But Valentin was ahead, was actually really quick at Barcelona, but ran out of fuel, could not make the finish of the Grand Prix. As Kruger goes for a bit of a spin, keeps it off the inside wall. Good recovery there by Kruger as she gets back and rolling. Hayward on the medium tire up to 5th place. Miller currently on a personal best, or a session best, sector 2. Trying to get back that top spot in the dying minutes of practice. Coming up in the Stowe corner here. See how rapid that car is. Going from Maggots and Beckett's to Stowe. This will be a best lap. 1:25.6 for Derek Miller. People getting these cars hooked up in preparation for qualifying. Pressy going through Maggots and Beckett's. We'll go on board with Josh Gaiman here. We'll see if we can go for a lap around the Silverstone circuit. About time for about one full lap. Let's see, hop on board Jason Blaney here. He's behind Derek Miller. Coming across our finish line here. Down the club straight. Abbey Corner, turn 1. Then it's Farm, turn 2. And Blaney actually just went off. So he will not have a really good lap to go at it. Derek Miller. Jump on board with him. Going down the Wellington Straight into Brooklands with Luffield following. Very complex set of corners here. Opening it back up onto the old pit straight from Woodcott all the way down to Cops Corner, where we've seen many a collision happen in open wheel cars throughout the years. Then the piece de resistance to Silverstone, Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel. Down the Hangar Straight. Bypassing the Stowe Circuit, the corner that it's named after. Bypassing the pit entry through Vale and going around Club Corner onto the Hamilton Straight to finish a lap right at the death of practice. So practice concludes. Who's going to get us started first? Looks like it's Jason Blaney and Derek Miller. The first car is out on track at the moment. Blaney, Miller, Gaiman, Hayward, Summer. Jason Blaney will be the first car to start a lap time. Derek Miller letting him have as much space as possible. You'll notice that he's on the medium compound tire. Not the lap time he set his fastest lap in practice. Waiting for the first laps to come through. Jason Blaney will be the first driver to set a lap time coming through Club Corner. Down the front straightaway. First lap on the board, a 1:27.8. Derek Miller up across the line. Takes provisional pole, 1:26.61. Next up on a lap will be Robin Summer, who just crossed the line, but an invalidated lap time. Eli Sasek next on the board. Locked it up. Going to the chicane. Gaiman third fastest. Sasek across the line. Hard compound tire for Sasek. Second place. Nick Press will be next across the line. Make sure you do not overextend the exit of Stowe. Pressy on the hard compound tire as well. As much curbing as you can possibly take. Pressy takes second place. Hayward behind. Her lap was not valid, so she'll try again. There's Derek Miller, that was associate behind Hayward coming out of pit lane. But here's Miller. Provisional pole. For the race winner from Fuji, but feels like eons ago. Miller letting Gaiman go by. Gaiman not on a super hot flying lap here. Also on the hard compound tires. Derek Miller on the medium, Jason Blaney on the softs. Everyone else largely on the hard compound tire, except for Kruger, Saucier, and Hayward. Now we're watching Derek Miller. He's on a warm-up lap. Just improved his lap time here. Right now, you can see the tires on the tower ticker here. Medium compound tire for Miller and Kruger, who sit top 2. Pressy in 3rd on the hard compound tire. That's one of the Gearcats machines, letting a car go by. I believe it was Kruger that was letting Miller go by. Three cars have yet to set lap time so far in this session. Nathan Line, Tom Sears, who we're looking at right now, and then Robin Summer have all yet to set a lap time in qualifying so far. 10 minutes in to qualifying. You see Sears on the hard compound tire, as well as Summer. Nathan Line on the medium. But right now, everything favors Derek Miller, who just went fast yet again. 125.96. 6/10 clear of Kruger. Pressy in 3rd on the hard compound tire. Do they change their strategy in the MPEM count? Sassek's on the soft. He is on a warm-up lap. Could be an interesting battle for pole if it keeps shaping up like this. Sassek, flying lap now. Sears goes 9th fastest ahead of Roberts and Saucier. Sassek abandoning that lap. Not liking what he's seeing. It's Miller, Kruger, Pressy top 3. Again, for those tuning in, I'm Carmen Hardy. Alongside me typically is Kevin Young. He is unavailable so far this week. We hope to have him back next week. It's been a very, very busy few days here in ABN. Robin Summer going down the hangar straight. Through Stowe. Around Club Corner. Is this going to be the lap time she sets? It is, and for top 10, it leaves just Nathan Line with work to do. Nick Pressy, the fastest car on track at the moment, but he's on an out lap. Just about everybody is. Sears, another lap, but it's not faster. He remains a well amount off the pace. Sign in the chat. Got used to having him, huh? There's a dichotomy, and we'll kind of go on a tangent here because we've got a little bit of space in qualifying here as drivers are really kind of just on out laps now. there's a different dichotomy. Like last night was completely different atmosphere, and I was alone for that too. It's a lot more. There's a lot more analytics in Hyperformula, and that it takes two to tango with analytics, with numbers, with crunching, and all that stuff. You need someone to kind of reverb off of. And unfortunately, he's had some technical issues that have kind of put him off for a week as he tries to get those fixed. But they're just completely different atmosphere in Hyperformula. It is a lot more critical. It's a lot more precise, right? It's a lot quicker, but you look at the time sheets, you look at the time spread. In qualifying, you can tell who was the have and have nots as far as the race winning pace, at least at face value. The favorites are present. We're kicking off the new year. You come off that high of last night's race in Super Sprints at Watkins Glen, and you come here where it's very much a game of chess. There's so much more methodical work being done. As you saw, Presti kind of just tagged the invisible wall there. It's Miller, Kruger, Hayward, Presti top 3. Well, top 4, excuse me. Presti's 4th. Gaiman on track at the moment. That's who we're looking at right now. Just behind him on track is Hayward. She is... And Gaiman's going to throw it off here. Hayward going through Brooklands and left field. But yeah, to kind of go back to the Simon's point, like, yeah, just... You look at how competitive Hyperformula is, it's also a wider spread. So... How do you fill the space? Right, so you're asking a... Is there a 107% rule? There is. Everyone's been clear of that, though. So it's not an issue. Miller, the fastest on track so far. It's on an out lap. At this point, Miller's at the point of just finding milliseconds to his lap time. Cloud cover making the track a little bit cooler. Hayward. Going through Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel. See what this lap time produces for Hayward. She's looking for her first front row start in World Championship competition. Does she get it done here? It was not faster. Just slightly off. Pressy going through the Nationals pit lane. Through cops. This track is secret. It's an underrated track in some cars. I used to really not like this track at all. Like as a driver, it was one of those tracks I kind of just roll my eyes at. Last couple of years, I've had a chance to actually drive this track in a different variety of cars, and it's growing me a little bit. It's still not. I still don't think it touches Donington, but it's not. It's definitely not the worst track in the world. It's as far as European tracks go. There's worse that exist. There's far worse that exist. You know, you think about tracks that are arguably worse than Silverstone. You look at tracks like Zandvoort. I think that Zandvoort's a pretty bleh track. Obviously, look at if you just look at like real world tracks, Saudi Arabia's not good. Losail and Qatar. That's good in bikes at best. You look at, let's see, what other current Grand Prix tracks are there that are not good, that could either be worse than Silverstone. You see, you have Paul Ricard. Paul Ricard's one. Up until recently, Barcelona was always on that list. And they're going back to the 2006, the Prix chicane layout for the last corner, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. We saw that 2 weeks ago. Let's see what else is there. As far as mid or lower than mid tracks, we're in the last 8 minutes of qualifying here. Silverstone is mid. The problem is that most of the current F1 calendar is worse than mid. Yeah. Silverstone's still a crown jewel race because nothing else has gotten better. That's a good point. COTA is the best track in the world, and I will not elaborate. That's a sentence, I guess. Holy cow, that's a sentence. And COTA is worse than mid, yes. You look at I think the tracks I've enjoyed the most are the tracks that they won't ever go back to. Tracks like Algarve. I think you put Algarve in the mix. You put Shanghai, Bahrain, Spa. I personally I love Singapore. I know Singapore is a very polarizing track. I personally love it. I love the atmosphere around it. It feels like a big deal, even with the amount of night tracks we have now in Grand Prix racing. Singapore still stands out. Bahrain's a track I wish iRacing would get. And now we're looking at the, this is Nick Pressey, the fastest MPM driver at the moment. Really wide. That's an invalidated lap time. Sepang's a good one. Istanbul Park, eh. I've never been really sold on Istanbul. I think Sepang 100%. It's a shame that Sepang and Singapore can't coexist on the Grand Prix calendar. But yeah, Sepang's a fantastic one. Istanbul has its qualities. See, I'm opposite on that. Like, I would take Singapore over Sepang. Kruger not improving her lap time. Gaiman improved his up to P4 for Gaiman. We're in the last 5 minutes of qualifying here. Pressey in 6th place. He's on an out lap. About to start a flyer. Derek Miller has not been able to improve his lap time for like the last 10 minutes. But he still hasn't been able to be in touch. So I was saying, I don't like Paul Ricard, but there's someone on my Discord who hates it to a level that's comical. So I tell him how awesome it is to get under his skin. Everyone has one track. Everyone has a singular track that they despise to a cosmic level. Like, it is the bane of their utter existence in racing. Diesel, when the stone is silver, I don't know, I don't race here. Do you want to race here? I can put this on the Super Sprint calendar next season. Miller with the spin. Not sure if everyone can hear it, but my broadcasting assistant letting me know that I can't threaten to put Silverstone on every calendar. For reasons the reason that I won't get into, I can't divulge what that track is for me. I don't want it to become a meme on broadcasts. Ooh, that's a hard hit for Kruger. Uh-oh, Silent saying maybe Watkins Glen on tracks that are the bane of their existence. That is going to draw the ire of a particular driver if they see that. It's a real world track. It's not a fictional track. It's a real world track that is the bane of my existence. Oh, there we go. Here we go. The chat's popping now. Coming to about 60 seconds left in regulation and qualifying here. Blaney just started his last lap. Hayward still sitting pretty comfy in third position. Josh Gaiman improved his time, but not enough to leapfrog Hayward here. Hayward's still sitting third. She's taking her time here. She's on the medium compound tire as well, as is Miller and Kruger, who are in pit lane. Their qualifying is over. Start of the last lap for Hayward. Gaiman can take an extra lap if he wants to. Looks like he might. Peltier Sharp just leapfrog Sasek. Gaiman, last car on a lap. See if Gaiman can close the gap anymore. He needs to find 2/10. Can he find it? He had it hooked up in Sector 3. Through Stowe. Through the Vale Chicane. Around Club. And across the line. It was an improvement, but not enough of an improvement to matter. Peltier Sharp, I believe, might be on her last lap. And she's going to pull it down pit lane. So, no run for her. So that is going to do it for qualifying. Derek Miller, once again, on pole position. Road Atlanta's mid. Laguna Seca's not good. So I agree with Sign on that one. There's a track that I hate more than Laguna Seca, but Laguna Seca is up there in the tracks I despise. So Derek Miller, top of the board. Then it's Kruger, Hayward, Gaiman, Pressey, top 5 in the qualifying order. So here's what we're looking at, going into this race. 53 laps, 3.6 mile circuit. There's my pupper, making her voice known. The Twitch chat has gone insane. I love it. 53 laps, about 192 miles and change. You see the Air temp 69 degrees, track temp 72 degrees, 51% humidity, partly cloudy, a little bit of wind. Here in Silverstone. Here's what the championship looks like going into today's race. Kruger with 69 points, Sask 67 points, Derek Miller within range. He just gained 3 points in qualifying here, so he's closed that gap even more going into tonight's event. Jason Blaney in fourth, won at Indianapolis last year, a couple races ago in Indianapolis. Bryn Roberts top 5, Christina Ryan not present for tonight's event. She will fall down the order. Tom Sears present, 40 points to his name. Then it's Wesley Jeanette, Nick Pressey, Rob Collier, Jacob Blankenship, Donnie Crouch, Tommy Reynolds, Olivia Hayward, who qualified third, got a bonus point there, so 9 points to Hayward's name. Then it's Robin Summer, Nathan Lyne, Rudy Valentin, Jeremy Breo, the last point scorer on the list. Team championship standings to this point. Nick Pressey Motorsports, Nexus Sim Racing, top of the charts here. It's Nexus Sim Racing and Fueled Up that are side by side. Obviously, the bonus points that Miller's earned will put Nexus Sim Racing ahead by 3. Gearcats 4th, 1MA Racing 5th, Arrowhead Racing 6th, Prismatic Motorsports 7th, Team Sideswipe in 8th, Prismatic Freya at 9th, 10th, Cherokee GP Twisted Racing by IMB Raceware sit last on the table with no points on the board. Going through the warm-up session here. Someone in the chat, there's a circuit in Colombia called Tocancipá. That's pretty dope. Yeah, Tocancipá is actually really cool. I think I was exposed to Tocancipá. Through. It was some sort of touring car series that I was exposed to Tocancipá. Saucier tagged the wall. Here was the qualifying order for those that missed qualifying. It was Miller, Kruger, Hayward, top 3. And then you see Josh Gaiman, Nick Pressey, top 5. A bit surprised that the Nick Pressey Motorsports duo struggled as much as they did, but they also qualified in the hard compound tires, so we'll see what that brings for them. Did Automod do a dumb? Oh, I see what Automod did. Okay. I'll allow it. See, Kit Kat, so in order for me, so you use the Iowa word band, and you used it last night too, but you use it at points where I don't need to actually say the word anyway to begin with. So, yeah, time these IRL word bands a little bit better. I also enjoy it while it lasts, because it's not going to exist next week. We're doing new rewards for next week. So, there's that. Because the IRL word band, I think it's only like 5 minutes. Less than a minute left here. Also got to put a cooldown on the hydrate, apparently. Is one of them summon Doggo? Athena's not the most... She's not the most polished commentator, but we can give it a shot. Alrighty. Here we go. Here's a look at the official and polished starting grid graphic. It's Miller, Kruger, front of the field. Hayward, Gaiman in row 2. Pressey and Pelletier Sharp, row 3. Pelletier Sharp's name is long enough that it cuts off. Lovely. Sasek and Blaney, row 4. Roberts and Summer, row 5. Sears and Saucier, row 6. Nathan Lennon round out the back of the field. As we get ready to go, the lights begin to come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And away we go. We're racing at Silverstone. Emma with another not great start. Both the Gear Cats cars with not great starts. Kruger already down a spot. Hayward with a better start this time around. Sasek has already had trouble. He'll drop down to 13th. Nathan Lyon in 12th. Trouble already in the early going. Kruger's gotten back around Hayward for second place after that start, but Kruger keeping it pointed straight. Blaney up 4 spots from where he started. He started this race in 8th. He's ahead of Pressy, who's where he started. Robin Summer, another big gainer, 6th place for her. Peltier Sharp only down 1 spot with how the Calamity in turns 3 and 4 went for everyone else. Tom Sears up 3 spots. Roberts where he needed to be. Sasek, Gaiman in trouble, and Gaiman with a completely smashed up car. Trouble for Nathan Lyon and Josh Gaiman. But a completely torn up car for Josh Gaiman. His World Championship debut goes less than ideal. And here's what happened to Josh Gaiman. He's behind Nathan Lyon. Ooh, hard contact and just bounces the car. Nathan Lyon, a little bit of a spin there. So that is trouble for Josh Gaiman. Live image pictures here. Kruger has hunted down Derek Miller, with Hayward sitting in 3rd, Blaney in 4th. There seems to be some confusion on whether or not there should have been a safety car called for the lap 1 issues on turns 3 and 4. For those wanting rule clarifications, there has to be more than 3 cars coming to a stop. And we only saw 2 cars come to a stop. 4 more cars coming to a stop, that's a full course caution. We only saw 2 at any one point. Top 4 still going at the moment. It's Miller, Kruger, Hayward, Blaney. Hayward still sitting pretty closely in 3rd there. Blaney showing some race paces on the soft compound tire. But a little bit of pace there from the 22. Trying to keep himself in range. Pressy in 5th, Peltier Sharp in 6th. Then it's Sears, Roberts, Saucier, and Sasek top 10. Summer just outside the top 10 in 11th. Gaiman's race is over, as is Nathan Lyon's. Kruger's gotten around Miller. Kruger now in the lead of the British Grand Prix. Hayward still where she started in 3rd. And Blaney sitting pretty well in 4th at the moment. Looking at the tire compounds as they sit, Top 3 all in the mediums. Jason Blaney in the softs. From Pressy all the way down to Roberts on the hard compound tire. Saucier medium, Sasek, Summer, and on hards. Galen was on hards when he crashed out. And Nathan Lyon out of this race as well. Already 2 cars down on the opening lap. Going down Hanger straight. Miller staying right there with Kruger. Miller sending it to the inside of Stowe corner. And there's contact! There's contact between Kruger, who is in the wall, maybe, trying to keep it going, but contact between Miller and Kruger in Stowe corner. It sends Kruger down to 7th. With now a lot of work to do. Miller in the lead of the Grand Prix now. Doesn't look like there's significant damage to the front of that car. Sasek has had a crash. His race is over. Here's what happened. We'll zoom out. And that's not an insignificant impact to the rear of Kruger's car. We'll play it in slow motion here. Live timing says Miller, Hayward, Blaney top 3. Miller sends it in. This is in Stowe corner. Yeah, that's not enough to be alongside. Kruger has the rights to that apex there. And that's the trouble with Sasek. So Miller leads over Hayward. Hayward's still sitting there, right behind in second place. Jason Blaney in third. Jason Blaney sitting in third. He's fallen off of this lead group. Blaney sitting in third. Hayward trying to hold on to Miller, but she's fallen out of the DRS range. Hayward actually closed the gap significantly through Sector 2. Not in DRS range, unfortunately, but almost. If she can keep this momentum right now, she should be close to DRS range coming up the hill. Battle up front between 1.2 seconds. Hayward trying to keep up. Miller was the fastest in practice. As they go through Maggots and Beckett's. It is now less than a second. This is where Hayward gains all that time. No DRS though, importantly. No DRS at the moment. Hayward trying to keep up with Derek Miller. You saw that. You saw how much that she was struggling to get under power going through Sector 1. Had DRS. Allowing herself to stay in it. A little bit of buffering there. Settled itself out. Robin Summer in pit lane. And that is a retirement for Summer. That is a crash for the 44 for the Prismatic Motorsports machine. We'll pivot to see what happened to Robin Summer here in a second. Hayward closing it down almost half a second. Miller leading by just over a second still. Jason Blaney sitting in third behind Olivia Hayward, trying to hold off the charging Pelletier Sharp. Pressy in fifth, and it's Kruger, Sears, Robert Saucier now still the ones left running, with Robin Summer out of the Grand Prix. Here's what happened to the 44. It's a self-spin. And let it roll back into the wall there. Out front, still within a second. Pelletier Sharp's overtaken Blaney for third. Battle here between Roberts and Sears. Sears looks like he missed the Vale chicane, so Roberts will take 7th place. Kruger right behind Nick Presti, trying to get herself back to the field. She's sitting 6th, trying to get back into the top 5. What ended up happening to Robin Summer looks like a little bit of a clip of the last corner curbing. We'll go back and take another look at it. But this is what happened to Robin Summer. It's a little bit too much of the sausage curbing, and I don't know if it didn't seem like the brakes were held, but you see where the damage was on the suspension of that car. With that much damage, that car was done. Presti almost did the exact same thing that Robin Summer had done just a couple laps ago. Kept a hold of it, but the battle that he was having with Kruger for 5th place is over. Kruger almost looped it there. Trying to get onto the Wellington straight. So Kruger back up to 5th. Blaney in 4th. Then it's Pelletier Sharp in 3rd as the lead Gearcats car. Hayward has begun to lose a little bit more time. It's now 1.4 seconds between Hayward and Miller at the front of the field. Presti sitting in the 6th position. Ben Roberts sitting down in 7th. There's Tom Sears in 8th coming out of the Chapel corner. And then there's Saucier going through Chapel and out of it now in 9th, the last car running. 4 cars out. Summer, Sasek, Gaiman, and Line all out of this race. Miller at the front of the field. 1.7 now the gap as everyone settles into a bit more of a rhythm. Pelletier Sharp still holding on to the last podium spot. Blaney in between the two Gearcats machines. Kruger on the charge, trying to get back to the podium. She knows as it sits, she'll lose the World Championship lead. Hayward actually spun. Had a pretty nasty spin, it looks like. Going through, just too much curbing, a little bit of grass. Trying to get as much time as possible out of the lap time, and luckily for Hayward, it didn't throw it into the wall. But that throws more of a wrench into her plans. Hayward actually back up to third because Kruger's had an issue. Here's what happened to Emma Kruger behind Jason Blaney. Blaney also went off track, apparently. Oh! Car is very skittish to the final corner. So Kruger back down to 5th, Blaney down to 8th. Hayward back up to 3rd. Make of that what you will. And Kruger's had another issue, I think. I don't know if it's another issue or not. Actually, it may be okay. Because there's Kruger. We don't know if there's any damage on the number 70. But she is sitting really close to Bryn Roberts and Tom Sears. And Jason Blaney's out of this race. It is lights out and over for the field up driver. Yeah, a lot of rear damage on that number 22. And he just did the smart thing and just pulled it over. But it is game over for Jason Blaney. And we score with a 9th place. At the front of the field, it is Derek Miller. Pelletier Sharp in the 2nd position now. The Pelletier Sharp sitting in 2nd, but it is a little bit of a no one's land. Closest battle right now is for 5th place between Kruger, Roberts, and Sears. I would assume with how Kruger's pace has fallen off that there may be damage on that gear cast machine. Because she is struggling to pull away from Roberts and Sears. Sears looks like he may have had an issue. He has fallen back by a few seconds. But still rolling there in 7th. Saucier in 8th, the last car running. So next, the sim racing cars bookend the field at the moment. Next closest battle, you see it on your screen. It's between Hayward in 3rd, Pressy in 4th. So as we sit and we kind of sit and we watch and wait here. There is commentary audio. We're trying to kind of dissect everything because it is so much has happened the first 15 laps that we're trying to like, okay, what do we talk about here? Because it's only me tonight. No Kevin Young. Kevin Young's having technical issues, so it's really just me in the booth. A lot's happened in the first 15 laps. So obviously the opening lap, the melee there takes out Nathan Lyon, Joshua Gaiman, Eli Sasek crashes on lap 4, Robin Summer crashes on lap 8, Jason Blaney just crashed on lap 14. So a lot has... several of the drivers have already dropped. That's 5 cars out of this Grand Prix. And the question that we kind of jump to, it's going to be a one-stop race. It's sort of just how that is, how it's going to develop. It's going to be a one-stop race. Jason Blaney was the only driver that was on an interesting strategy there. But he's out of the race. He crashed out, had damage from an incident with Ember Kruger. The last corner, the club corner on this track has been extremely lethal. And because it took out Summer, that was where Blaney and Kruger had their incident. It's been a very lethal corner on this track. Everyone really trying to get as much time out of this car as possible. We're looking at Hayward. Still the closest battle on track is between Hayward and Pressey and Kruger. That's the closest battle going on right now. And in fact, you look at it, this is where Kruger's at compared to Pressey. But then the question you begin, at least the question that begins to pop up is, okay, what was the better choice? Was starting on the hards the better choice, or was it mediums the better choice? Pelletier Sharp's on hards. Most of the top 5 is on mediums, though. Minus Pressey, who just got passed by Kruger for the second time in this race. So Kruger's trying to set sail. Trying to get to the podium spots. 4 seconds between Hayward and Kruger. So, unlike what we saw at Barcelona, Kruger almost lost it again as they approached the Wellington Straight. But the question that we can begin to look is we're looking at the data, and I have to look at the data, I have to look at the stream, I have to look at the track, I have to look at all the stuff at once. No help of my own here tonight. But right now, as it sits, the question is like, okay, medium tires, Derek Miller, we've seen this with him all season long. He'll take the medium tires, he'll take them too long, and it'll cost himself the race. We've seen it twice now. As Miller's actually in pit lane here. So Pelletier Sharp will inherit the lead of the Grand Prix for the first time in her World Championship career. Hayward also in, medium tires. Hayward and Miller both coming in on lap 21 of the Grand Prix. A 4.3 second stop for Miller. Hayward still in pit lane. 4.5 second stop. Saucier coming down pit lane. I remember that Silverstone's a very slow pit lane. This is a 37 mile an hour pit lane. Very slow. So Pelletier Sharp leads over Kruger. It's a 1-2 right now for Gear Cats, although Kruger has to come in, as does Pelletier Sharp at some point in this Grand Prix. Miller in third. Miller going to make a move on Kruger here through Booklands. Easy as you can make it happen, although Miller stayed on the mediums here. Miller's on a 2-stop strategy call right now. That's interesting to me. Miller's stayed on the medium, so that's where he started on, was the mediums. He stayed on it, which means if he's finishing this race on the soft compound tire, he's 2-stopping this race. With how long a pit lane, how long the pit lane is here at Silverstone, I don't know if that's the. I'm not sure if that's the call I would make as a driver. I feel like you would just do the medium to hard. That's what Pelletier Sharp's doing. I believe that's what Kruger's going to be doing here. You want to cut out 40 seconds of time, and you don't do that by pitting twice. So the worst case scenario for Miller is that Kruger has a 1-stop race. Kruger's gonna have damage repair, but if he loses enough time on this 2-stop strategy, he could fall off the podium. And he's the one that has the most to gain right now. He needs to be a little bit more precise on this, because he entered with about almost a 10-point deficit. And I know that doesn't seem like much, but when you look at the front of this field, when you look at how good the front of the field is, you look at Kruger, you look at Miller, you look at, obviously, Sassek's out of this race, but when he's been on track and when he's been allowed to finish, he's been really, really good. There's a lot of talent at the front of the field. You don't want to give up points. Miller's taking a bit of a gamble here, thinking that the 2-stop's going to be the optimal strategy, and it could, but he needs to be lights out this stint. And next stint. He needs to be especially lights out next stint. Emma's on the hard compound tire now, so this is a 1-stop strategy for her. Kruger did not need any repairs. Interestingly enough, no repairs for Kruger. So, good work there for the Gear Cats machine. Getting lucky with that netcode incident with Jason Blaney. She sits down in 6th. Bren Roberts is yet to pit. Press is yet to pit. And Pelletier Sharp have yet to pit. All 3 of those cars on hard compound tires, they will not pit until about lap 30. Miller has set the fastest lap of the race of 129.6. So he is closing the gap. The issue is that he doesn't want to fall off too quickly here. He needs to open another 20-second gap on Hayward to make this 2-stop work. And he's got less than 20 laps to do that. And in all actuality right now, Hayward's actually closing the gap a little bit on Miller. So you need to gain about a second a lap, and I don't think that's happening. Miller and Hayward have been way too close on pace so far this race. Again, Pelletier Sharp, the smartest move that Pelletier Sharp could make is wait until Miller's right there and then pit. Because you want to kind of throw Miller off a little bit. Pelletier Sharp's not in any championship position in the slightest. Her teammate is. So if you want to play the team game a little bit, 100%, throw him off a little bit. Slow him down just enough. Because Kruger is also in that range where if Miller can't pull this off, he'll be behind. Miller will end up being behind Hayward, Roberts, Kruger, possibly Peltier Sharp as well. There's a few cars that could end up being in this situation. Kruger's gotten around Roberts. And that was going into Cops. Now through Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel. Kruger trying to set sail. Kruger's on the hard compound tire. It says she's on the medium on the tire coloring, but she's on the hards. It's one of those things where the graphic that we have on the timing tower, a little bit more reliable. Hayward just ahead of Kruger now. Both Hayward and Kruger have made a pit stop, what we believe is their only pit stop of this Grand Prix. Peltier Sharp is losing time to Derek Miller, as you would expect. Peltier Sharp will be on a better strategy. She'll be on the medium tire in a few laps to make it to the end of the British Grand Prix. For Peltier Sharp, it's about being calculated. It's about being methodical. And right now, she's where she wants to be. What a season. What a turnaround it would be. Yesterday in the Super Sprint Championship race at Watkins Glen, got sent into orbit at Watkins Glen in a multi-car crash on lap 2. After how 2022 ended for her, a little bit of a lockup there going through the Vale chicane. Those tires definitely showing their age a little bit, but trying to stick it out. The gap now less than 4 seconds between Peltier Sharp and Miller. Hayward and Kruger's had another issue. No, it's a 3-car battle is what's going on. Hayward up to 3rd ahead of Pressy. And then there's Kruger right there in 5th. Pressy is yet to pit as well. And Pressy will not fight Kruger too awful hard. Hayward to 3rd, Kruger to 4th, Pressy up to 5th. Sears in pit lane, 7th place for the Arrowhead Racing driver. The only one left in this race after Josh Gaiman crashed out. Peltier Sharp still leading. Battle going into Brooklands. Hayward having to give up that spot to Kruger going through Luffield. Roberts has had some sort of issue, but he's still rolling, so no harm, no foul there for the 1MA Racing driver. Kruger up to 3rd. Just needs to mind her P's and Q's. The way it should settle out after Peltier makes a pit stop, it's going to be Miller, Kruger, Hayward, and Peltier Sharp. The issue is if Miller's not going to extend the gap enough. The gap right now between Miller and Kruger is 20 seconds. It needs to be 40. That's the magic number, and he's not getting it. Miller's not going to get it on Kruger. Wasn't going to really get it on Hayward either, but definitely not getting it on Kruger. And Kruger is lightning quick. There's a reason she is leading just about every championship statistic in ABN right now. The Super Sprint, High Performa obviously tonight. She entered leading the World Championship. the Champ Car preseason challenge. She's leading that. Kruger just set the fastest lap of the race on the hard compound tire, 129.5. And the gap is shrunk to less than 20. It is showtime. Miller has gotten within a second of Pelletier Sharp. Battle for the race lead. Pelletier Sharp trying to make it to about lap 31, 32. Couple laps left to go here for her before she makes her pit stop. Gap now less than half a second. Going into DRS range after Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel. Miller will probably take the lead here. Maybe. Dirty Air not a fan of Derek Miller. The lack of grip there for Pelletier Sharp said a lot. As they go up towards Stowe. Miller around the outside. Really late braking by Pelletier Sharp. Missed that completely. A valiant effort for Pelletier Sharp, but just couldn't make it stick. Not on the tires to do it. But a valiant effort. Her first lap's led in the World Championship. When you have a 3-second difference in lap time. No! Pelletier Sharp trying too hard. She needs to kind of put her head back down here. She's not in contention for the race win at this point. She's not. She needs a bit of a miracle for the podium at this point as well. She just needs to kind of keep her head down, get some solid points. That's been a thing that's eluded her. Just jumping way too far in the deep end of the pool. It's been a thing a lot of drivers have suffered from this season. Trying to jump in too hard, trying to take too many risks. The self-preservation has to really kind of take hold here. And you just got to take the points and go. Obviously, Pelletier Sharp's actual home race next week at Magny-Cours. Like, get the momentum from here at Silverstone and move forward into next week and just build on that. Don't let it slip because you're trying too overzealous for a strategy that's you're not even battling on the same plane at the moment. She's going to come in here. So, made it to the end of lap 30, on to 31. Kruger with a 2.7 second gap over Hayward. She'll pass her teammate for second place. And she'll watch Hayward move her teammate out of the podium spaces. Pelletier Sharp should move to the medium compound tire. I believe that is the case. And Pelletier Sharp will end up in the 4th position. Kind of where I thought it was going to be. The Kruger leads by 3.4 over Hayward. She still sits about 18 seconds behind Miller. But Miller needs to... Like, his gamble is that he's hoping that he can make these tires last longer than he made the hards last, which is an interesting strategy at this point in time. I don't think that's a strategy that's going to work, though. Miller in the race lead, but that gap is shrinking more and more. It's 17.5 seconds now between Miller and Kruger, with a potential pit stop on the way for Miller. That is the strategy that we're seeing right now, with coming to 20 laps to go. It is not impossible to think that there is a possibility that Kruger is going to shave all that time down and then some. Right now, as we sit here, Pressy back in pit lane. Pressy, this is his first pit stop, actually, that he just made. So, he's good to go. He's on the soft compound tire as well. Interesting strategy there for him. Gap down below 17 seconds between Miller and Kruger. Hayward in third place here, staying in shape. Pelletier sharp. Back on the heels of Hayward, who actually just went off track. Potential trouble there. This is going to be an interesting little battle. Hayward pit on lap 20. Pelletier Sharp pit on lap 30. That's the difference. Hayward on the hard compound tire. Pelletier Sharp on fresher mediums. Hayward's not going to make it easy on Pelletier Sharp, though. Peltier Sharp on the outside will have the advantage and will have the grip to make it happen. Peltier Sharp up to third again. Hayward down to fourth. Peltier Sharp could actually be on an interesting strategy call here. It'll be interesting to see how she handles this now that her teammate's in front of her. Miller has come down pit lane. No, he's went off track. Oh, huge issue for Derek Miller. This is Derek Miller off track. He's back and rolling. He's got to go a full lap around with no front wing. That's devastating. Here's what happened. Going into the chicane. And you can see it there. Everything just shuts off. Wow. So Kruger leads this Grand Prix. Peltier Sharp in second. Kierkegaard's looking for a 1-2 potentially here. Peltier Sharp sits second, and she's closing the gap to her teammate here. This could be an interesting battle. Miller obviously coming down pit lane. Not a whole lot that he can do here. He's losing out to Saucier. He's going to go a lap down. This got really interesting. Saucier's okay, never mind. Saucier's still 7. That was interesting. Gap is 5.1. Seems like it's fluctuating a little bit. Peltier Sharp on the mediums, Kruger on the hards, Hayward on the hards, Roberts on the hards, Pressy on the softs. Miller will move to softs as well. Ten-second stop to replace the front wing for Miller. Miller now behind Peltier Sharp. Actually, that is Miller's next to sim racing machine. Saw Peltier Sharp had a bit of an issue there while I was taking a drink. Put Hayward back into the top two. Roberts in pit lane. So Peltier Sharp down to third, Hayward in second. Peltier Sharp just at the fast sector 2 of the race. Pressi's going to jump up to fourth here. Peltier Sharp gaining back ground on Hayward here. But losing time to Kruger. Alrighty. So Kruger leads here. You're looking at Kruger center of your screen. Olivia Hayward sitting in second. Yeah. Lily Peltier Sharp in third. Going to be shaping up for another battle for second place here. It's the battle that's developing for the podium spaces. Bryce Sos, you're in pit lane. Battle for second place. This is on your screen. Peltier Sharp. Center of your screen. Hayward in front of her. Coming to 11 laps to go in the Grand Prix. Gap still half a second. Peltier Sharp has DRS. Hayward does not. Peltier Sharp does not make the same mistake Derek Miller did earlier in this race. Has time to make this pass happen. Hayward almost lost in the last corner. They are sitting with Miller in front of them. Miller in that purple and yellow car. Hayward turning for screen, the coral and purple. White, sky blue, and pink for the Gear Cats machine of Peltier Sharp. Peltier Sharp dives it into Brooklands. Makes it stick. Overshoots left field a little bit. Now Hayward will be on the attack. Gear Cats looking for a 1-2 finish here tonight. Coming to 10 laps to go. Peltier Sharp trying to hold on. As it currently sits, this will be the first World Championship race where an American driver's not been on the podium. It'll be Belgium, France, and Great Britain. Trouble for Hayward. And she has spun her around. Not the way she wanted that to go. Under any circumstances. Obviously, still a decent enough buffer over Nick Pressey. But still not what you want to see. Still lost 11 seconds to Pressey there. Peltier Sharp, no pressure now. No pressure to try to chase down her teammate, who will extend her gap in the World Championship. And no pressure behind by Hayward, who is now 14 seconds behind. She can ride this one out. And that's what she should do. The pressure is over. Drivers need to focus on bringing the cars home and scoring some World Championship points. Pressey looking possibly at a fastest lap attempt here. Fastest lap belongs to Nick Pressey at the moment. 128.8 for Nick Pressey as far as fastest lap goes. Kruger with a 129.5. Peltier Sharp with a 129.4. Hayward a 130.4. Bryn Roberts a 129.1. Tom Sears 131.4. Derek Miller 129.3. So Nick Pressey getting the bonus point for the fastest lap in the race. So looking at Peltier Sharp, her teammate up ahead, sitting in the race lead. It'll be the first 1-2 for Gear Cats in the Grand Prix. They had a front row lockout in Indianapolis, and that was all went squandering. What a way to kick off 2023 by redeeming that race in a triumphant fashion. As the laps count down, Kruger gets to enjoy these laps. Eight cars still running. All 8 cars made it beyond lap 14. If you survived the first 14 laps, you were pretty golden tonight here in Silverstone. Peltier Sharp sitting in second. Olivier Hayward down in third. Nicholas Pressey with the fastest lap of the race in fourth. Bryn Roberts in fifth. Then you have Tom Sears in sixth. Seventh, Derek Miller. There'll be a race of what ifs for him. Having his car shut off, going into the Vale chicane. Threw him from the lead of this race out of the top 5 and almost in a retirement. Bryce Saucier in 8th. Just happy to score some points on the board. For Kruger with 5 laps to go. It's become more straightforward than ever. No risks. No gambles, just take the car and bring it home. She's opened up a larger gap on her teammate. Peltier Sharp has had some sort of issue here. She's given up almost 8 seconds to Hayward and Kruger here. So Peltier Sharp's had an issue of some kind. It's not popped up on her timing screen as to what it is. If I have to hazard a guess, probably a half spin. Trying to be a little bit too greedy on the curbing somewhere. You see, there was Hayward in the background approaching Maggots back to the chapel. Saucier coming in. He may be trying to get a fast lap point away from Pressy here. LTA sharp against center of your screen. Saucier a lap down, coming out of pit lane here. Gonna probably make an attempt at the fastest lap. Here's Kruger in your screen, the number 70 car for Gear Cats. Miller also coming down pit lane. There's Miller in the pit lane right now. We'll be in pit lane. May as well try to get the fast stop point, get an extra point here. Less than 4 laps to go. Kruger coming up to the car. Tom Sears is the Airhead racing car that she's approaching. Sears had a quiet race, but it's been a clean race for Sears. Coming to 2 laps to go here in Silverstone. Tom Sears comes down pit lane. He wants to try a crack at the fastest lap. 2 to go. When Kruger takes the line, she starts lap 52. Miller is on a blistering lap right now. Set purple sectors 1, 2, and 3. Had a personal best sector 4. Fast lap of the race, a 127.39. Insane lap for Derek Miller. Hayward just set a personal best, a 130 flat. But Derek Miller taking the bonus point for extra lap, for the fast lap, I should say. Kruger not worried about any of that at the moment. Just trying to bring the car home. It was what could have been in Spain when Valentin ran out of fuel. Kruger said as a team principal, she felt like it was one of her worst races as a team owner. She takes the white flag. 1 lap to go here in the British Grand Prix. Her teammate sits in second. Tom Sears will have a crack at the fast lap of the race, potentially. Emma Kruger going through Cops. She'll make the drive down through Beckett's and Chapel for the last time at speed. And down the hangar straight. It's been a phenomenal race. Not incident-free by any speck of the imagination, but it's been enough for redemption. Emma Kruger rounds the final corner. She will win the British Grand Prix. And set a personal best in the process at the final lap. Pelletier, Sharp, and Hayward within a second, but it's probably not going to be close enough unless Pelletier Sharp makes a mistake. This is the battle for second, and coming to the Vale Chicane. There was a lockup. Is it enough, though? No, Hayward also ran wide in the Vale Chicane. Pelletier Sharp holds on to second place. Olivia Hayward will hold on to third. Nick Pressey will hold on for fourth place on very old tires. You see how worn that left front is. That is down to the cords. That is a very unhealthy looking front left tire. But it'll get him what he needs. Fourth place. Some much needed points for the MPEM crew. Obviously, Bryn Roberts, P5, had a pit stop there closer to the end. Tom Sears already crossed the line. But for Emma Kruger, it's a race win.
weekend, and I'm glad to bring it home for the 1-2.
Obviously, Olivia, first race in a little bit. We last saw you at Indianapolis. This was your home race, even though it's not Alton Park. I
wish it was.
It'll still count for something here. A podium here, your first podium in the World Championship, in a race that was full of chaos. You qualified third, you finished third, consistency all around there for you. Kind of just walk us through your race. It seemed like you had one of the more calm races of the night, and even then it wasn't I wouldn't say it was a flawless race by any means.
No, I had two pretty major spins, and I'm mad not only that I had those two spins, but the fact that each of them cost me so much time to end up in a really bad spot to get it back turned around. I made my opinions on the track clear in chat during qualifying. It's okay. I don't mind it. The car, I just don't really enjoy driving the car, especially not for this long. Like it's difficult to race, which is the dirt, yeah, and it's difficult to push because it can just turn on you at any time. And to do it for this long, it takes a lot out of it. It's not the sort of thing that I really look forward to doing every week. But obviously, with it being a home race, I felt it was just give it a go. I didn't know where I'd end up. Definitely didn't expect to end up on the podium, but I'm very happy to do that because best fans in the world here.
Obviously, this race kind of epitomized how the season's been. Obviously, 5 DNFs. Luckily, all three of you were able to avoid the early melee and obviously get to the podium to get this point. As you mentioned, the car is not easy. Looking at next week, obviously, you may not be here for next week, but Mandicore comes up, and that's a very difficult track. It's a very narrow track. It's a very tight track to race on. Going forward, and we'll start with, in particular, Emma and Emily here, and Lily here. How do you expect next week to go? Obviously, the 1-2 here, great start of 2023. Now it's about keeping that momentum. How do you approach that, knowing that it is the great unknown?
Sorry.
We'll start with Emma, and then we'll go to the Lily, since it's her home track next week.
Oh well, I didn't really have an answer, but it's gonna be. I've never done a race on that track, even through like any of the official series or like week 13 or anything. The only testing I've done there is with the IR1 for Champ Car next season. Given pending an actual change in the terms of service, but yeah, I think it'll be fun. That track's pretty fun to lap around. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. And it's Lily's home race as well, so I hope for both of us and the team that she gets her first win there.
Obviously, Lily, it's your home race next week. I know it's a track that you've been looking forward to. Sort of like, have you done any practice laps? Kind of give us what you think this race is going to be like for you next week. Lily, you got a copy? We may have lost her.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Yep, she has bounced out of she's bounced out of the podium interview, so
maybe she just needed to be connected.
Yep, she had to get redragged in. Yep. Alrighty.
Yeah.
Lily, can you hear me now?
Yeah, no, I could hear you. Discord was just going 5,000 ping for some reason. I've only ever done one race at Manicourt before. That was R Factor 2 in a Formula 3 car, and I actually did bring it home for points there. Moving into iRacing, I think it's going to be an entirely different challenge with a much faster car, especially with how some of the flowing corners can be. It's going to be, I think, actually a struggle for tyre wear, a bit like, not as bad as here, but it's definitely going to be worse for tyres. But I'm excited for it. It's the track that's actually closest to where I was born by like a few minutes compared to Paulicar. But so it's going to mean a lot to race there, to be honest. I'm looking forward to it and hope to carry the momentum forward.
Obviously, a long race tonight. These Grand Prix are always. It seems like they're always super draining. Obviously, we talked to, as I mentioned, like the car is just super hard to be on it all the time. But next week's going to be another fun week. We'll let everyone kind of rest up and kind of get ready to go. Obviously, for Olivia, she is living in the future, 5 hours ahead. So obviously, she needs to get some rest as well. But before we let you all go, we'll start with Olivia and work up the podium. If there's anyone who wants to shout out and say thank you to, Olivia, start off with you. If there's anyone who wants to shout out and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congrats on the podium.
Thank you. Yeah. Shout out to Cosmetic, sponsors, Certiverse, Go for the Gap Contributors, Agent named ABN. Shout out to my teammate Robin. Unfortunately didn't have the best race, but was good to talk to try and work out strategy during practice and qualifying. I was umming between the 1 and the 2 stop, and ended up deciding to play a bit of a safe option with a 1 stop. Yeah, I mean, just shout out to everyone there. Shout out to Leah as well. She's awesome. And yeah, that's about it.
Lily, anything you want to add to that? Obviously, 1-2 for the team. Anyone you want to shout and say thank you to? The floor is yours.
Just a big shout out to Emma for helping me keep calm during the stressful moments of that race, despite even running her own race. I think we tried to keep each other calm, and it really, really helped, especially towards those last tense final few moments where I was on a single instant point away from drive-through due to stupid mistakes of my own.
And Emma, obviously, race winner, Grand Prix race winner here tonight. If there's anyone you want to shout out and say thank you to, the floor is yours.
Yeah, firstly, shout out Lily. She did an amazing job this weekend. I'm very, very proud of her. It was a good race for the team. Shout out to our other drivers as well, Ben and Rudy. Miss you guys. And yeah, a shout out to everyone in chat who comes and supports me every race. And yeah, shout out Open Medicine Foundation as well. And thank you, Carmen, for putting these races on. That's all for me.
Obviously, all three of you, congrats on the podium once again. Phenomenal race tonight for all three of you. Obviously, Olivia, hopefully we'll see you tomorrow night for Champ Kart at Homestead. Hopefully see all three of you tomorrow for Champ Kart
I'm looking forward to that one.
But all three of you, enjoy the podium, enjoy the race win, Emma. You earned it. Congratulations. Have a good night and rest up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was our podium interviews here from Silverstone. We're working on the points here in just a second, getting everything up to date and ready to go for what was a wild race. Points are definitely going to change just a little bit. So we worked through everything here. Make sure everything's up to date and ready to go. It looks like it is. Alrighty. Here's what everything looked like here. Here's the full race results. That was qualifying results. Derek Miller, Emma Kruger, front row. Olivia Hayward started third. That's where she ended up finishing this race. You look at how the race results turned out. Emma Kruger won this race by 34 seconds over her teammate Lily Pelletier-Sharp. Olivia Hayward in third place, rounding out the podium. Nick Pressey, Bryn Roberts, top 5 for them. Tom Sears in 6th, Derek Miller 7th. Bryce Saucier round out the field that finished in 8th. Jason Blaney finished 9th ahead of Robin Summer. Eli Sasek in 11th, just outside the points after crashing out early in this race. Obviously, the most frustrating for Nathan Lyon and Joshua Gaiman, who did not get to see the finish of this race. Didn't really even get to see the finish of lap 1 in this race. So, obviously not what Josh Gaiman wanted to see to start off 2023. We'll see more of him going into the rest of this month. We won't see him at Magny-Cours next week, but we will see him after that once again on track here in the Hyper Formula Championship. Here is what everything looks like right now in the championship standings. Emma Kruger extends the championship lead, 96 points to her name, ahead of Derek Miller, who gained a position over Eli Sasek, who scored nothing in today's Grand Prix. Miller up to second, Sasek third, Roberts up to fourth, Jason Blaney drops down to fifth. Tom Sears in sixth place. He'll gain a spot over Christina Ryan. Ryan did not start this Grand Prix, so she'll drop down to seventh. Nick Pressey up to eighth in points, ahead of Wesley Jeanette. Olivia Hayward, a lot of jumped spots, obviously gaining 15 points in this race this evening, up to 24 for her. Puts her top 10 in the point standings. Rob Collier in 11th position. Then Jacob Blankenship, Donnie Crouch, Lily Pelletier Sharp jumping up a lot of spots as well. 14th place for Pelletier Sharp with 14 points on the board. Tommy Reynolds in 15th, then Robin Summer, Nathan Line, Bryce Saucier, Rudy Valentin, Jeremy Breo, the 20 cars that have scored a point in the World Championship. And then we'll get the team points updated here shortly as we pull all of this stuff together. We're still kind of learning some of the systems here, so bear with us. But a lot of fun tonight seeing Gearcats getting their first ever win. First ever one, too, I should say. So maximum points on offer there. Oh, yeah. Hey did get 16 points. Yeah, that's why it's 24 and not 23. Yeah, really good point there. Getting the points updated here for the teams. We may just have to do the teams. We may start with the teams points for Magny-Cours because the system is going to be very slow. But you all, thank you all for tuning in so much. It's been a fun week, a fun start to 2023. It's been just a lot of fun, and the fun doesn't stop. As we alluded to in the podium interview, tomorrow night, because whether it's meant to be or not, we get a reprieve. We will be streaming the Champ Car Preseason Challenge from Homestead Miami Speedway. There'll be Christina Ryan and Strix9 Polstrix in the booth for that race tomorrow night, about 8:15 p.m. Easterns, when that all kicks off tomorrow night here on ABN. But until then, on behalf of everyone here from Silverstone Grand Prix Circuit, from the UK, next week we go to Magny-Cours. Answering the question in the chat, do we have a Facebook? We do not yet. Our main social media is Twitter at the moment. Twitter is our main social media, and then we have Facebook. We have not Facebook, but Twitch. We have YouTube, and we have Discord. In fact, we'll put all our links in the Twitch chat before we sign off here. Alrighty. But on behalf of everyone here on ABN, I'm Carmen Hardy. Until then, we'll see you tomorrow night for Homestead Miami action. It's Champ Car on ovals. One of the greatest spectacles in racing. But until then, so long and farewell, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow night.